Good afternoon. My name is Haley Solomon, and for our PESTLE Team 4 project, my teammates Nina Bachman, Dalia Lazo Batista, Bryce Vaquera, and I, Haley Solomon, focused on Japan and their automotive industry. Japan, as we know, is an Asian nation, an island nation of about 125 million citizens. And they are currently ranked as the third largest economy in the world. This could be for many reasons, but there are many PESTLE components that make it a booming economic and social hub for the world. These include a high standard of living, a very educated workforce. There are numerous large cosmopolitan urban centers. There's also a low homicide and crime rate, and their government has low corruption. We decided to focus on the automotive industry. And this is one of the largest industries in Japan. In 2019, the automotive industry yielded 21 trillion Japanese yen. So the big three companies are all ones that are sold here in the United States, and I'm sure some of us drive them. They are Toyota Motor Company, Nissan, and Honda. And along with the big three, there are lots of components, as we know, that go into automotives. So in order to make a car, we obviously need lots of parts, and two of the main car part manufacturers are also in Japan. That is Denso Corp and Calsonic Kansai Corp. So as this colorful image describes, there is a large and diverse supply chain around the automotive industry, and Japan has been able to leverage having many aspects of that supply chain onshore. So they are able to manufacture a lot of the parts that go directly into their cars. The first economic variable of the PESTLE analysis that we're going to talk about today, while a bit out of order, is the economic variable. And the first economic variable that we chose to explore is the economic growth rate. The economic growth rate includes inflation and interest rate, and it's also expressed as GDP. So as we know, GDP is the gross domestic product of the goods that are made in that country. So here we have a graph showing from 2014 projected to 2021, showing the economic growth rates by year. And we see that in 2017, the growth rate went up substantially. And in 2018, it came back a bit. And in 2019, it is making a comeback to increase. Now, the second economic variable is unemployment rate. So never has this become more timely, but the unemployment rate expresses the current economic outputs of a nation. So it describes those of a working age, which is considered the legal age up until mid to late 60s. And it truly gives a view of how many people that can work are working within a nation. So we chose this variable because it really does show, especially for the automotive industry, just how successful Japan is. So as you can see here, now, of course, unemployment rate, the higher the worse, and the lower the better. The lower the less people that are unemployed. So as we see, from 2014 to 2020, it is going down quite a bit. Now, there are three types of unemployment. There's frictional, structural, and cyclical. The third variable we chose is the Domestic Producer Prices Index. So this is a group of indexes, and it calculates the average change over time in selling prices. So this is measured as the growth rate annually. So as you can see here, this has pretty much stayed the same between 2014, 2019, and we expect it to go up quite a bit in 2021. So, the economic variable summary. Basically, we have the economic growth rates. So, recent years, Japan has showed very strong economic growth, and this is really a direct result of the growth of exports, private investments, and consumption. And those growth of exports do contain automotives. So, being that the big three are exported into Europe, South America, all the Americas, all over the world, into Africa, that is a strong export for Japan. Now, we're going to talk about this quite a bit today, but the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic are going to impact, the world's arena as we know it. But for economic growth rates, the IMF actually expects that it will just about stay the same, if not increase, for Japan. Now, the unemployment rate is extremely low in Japan, as we saw in the graph. But again, because of COVID-19, we do expect that to rise. And thirdly, the domestic producer prices index, as we discussed, they've mostly stayed consistent over the past 5 years, but the domestic PPI rate is likely to increase. So that is something for Japan to definitely take notice of. And with that, I am going to lead us into our next variable. Thank you.